Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nursha Zaini binti Muhammad Shahre, and today I will be presenting my case study for EDU550 Educational Psychology. So first thing first, a little introduction. My name is Nursha Zaini binti Muhammad Shahre from EDU241 TESOL, Class C, and I will be doing a focus on a research. It's a common issue in Malaysian classroom, which is the relationship between English language anxiety and disruptive classroom behavior. So as a TESOL student myself, I often see students acting out, but we don't really always realize that this bad behavior might actually be a shield for their fear of the language instead of intentionally. So let's move on to the research problem. So despite years of English lessons, many secondary students still feel deep anxiety, which this can create a dual challenge, which is it stops them from learning and it disrupts the whole class. So my objective for this study is to investigate the perception of both novice and senior teachers regarding the relationship between English language anxiety and disruptive behavior among underperforming students, then to identify common indicators of language anxiety that leads to disruptive classroom behaviors in ESL lessons. And next is to explore effective classroom management strategies used by teachers to initiate language anxiety while maintaining discipline. So according to three of these references, in a 2025 research, students in Malaysia often avoid participating just to protect their social image from being judged by peers. This often triggered by crowd effect, so the fear of speaking in front of many people. And then there is also Malaysian students, including TESL programs, experience deep inner self-anxiety in private institution, which is affected from their previous experience during secondary levels. And this confirms that language fear is an internal emotional conflict rather than a lack of academic preparation. To understand this psychologically, I look at two theories, which is operant conditioning, which is by Skinner, and also self-efficacy by Bandura. For behavioral approach, operant conditioning, a disruptive behavior acts as negative reinforcement. If a student acts out, the teacher stops asking them questions. So they learn from that experience. If they disrupt classes, it is a successful way to escape stress. And for self-efficacy, when students don't believe they can succeed, they use disruption to mask their inner fear. Now moving on to the methodology. For the qualitative study, I interviewed two different teachers to get a range of perspective. For teacher 1, teacher Izati, a practical teacher with 3 months of experience representing our novice teacher, and then teacher Bawani, who has been teaching for 12 years, representing our senior group. I used semi-structured interview and purposive sampling to gather my data. So based on the data analysis, there are a lot of similarities and differences from the two interviews I've did. So what did I find? Both teachers agreed on one big thing, which is disruption is a coping mechanism. They both believe in using empathy over punishment. So however, there were differences in their approach. So for the novice teacher, teacher 1, focus more on outward signs like nervous laughter and use reactive strategies like moving closer to students to stop their behavior. And as for the senior teacher, look more at the internal state and was more proactive. She suggested building confidence by starting off small with friends or family and noted that it is affected by the post-COVID gap has made the anxiety worse. So there are four main aspects that I've looked up to: focus on observation, classroom strategies, main challenges, and advice focus. Now we're going to look up to the thematic analysis. I have gathered 3 research questions from the 3 main objectives, and to really make it short and simple, my thematic analysis broke into three areas, which is the connection of disruptive behavior, and also English language anxiety, the signs, which is the range from passive avoidance, staying off quiet, avoiding eye contact, to an active disruption, which is becoming restless to divert attention. And the strategies, last but not least, is the strategies. Effective method including low profile intervention, like having a private chat so you don't embarrass them in front of many people, and relationship building, where the teacher acts more like a friend to build a bond. And they also, which is Tutor Bawani, also suggested to start it off small from friends and to a bigger environment. So based on the data that I've gathered, I do have a few recommendations, which I divided into two, which is individuals and family, and also government and school. For individuals, I recommend that students should practice in small crowds. I take this from both of my interviews with two of the teachers, to build confidence gradually, and also to embrace mistakes, to make sure that individual must accept that everyone makes mistakes, to reduce speaking anxiety. And last but not least is a supportive home, where families should provide a non-threatening space for English practices, not being judgmental and whatnot. As for government and school, we need to prioritize emotional safety in the curriculum and provide mentorship for new teachers to help them balance discipline with empathy. And based on a lot of programs in school, we do have HIP, which is highly immersive program. It's a good program to create or normalize English in a non-threatening way. In conclusion, we must remember that a disruptive student is often just scared of other students or other judgments. And by lowering the effective filter and focusing on a bond building, we can create a safe space where they feel comfortable enough to learn or speak English openly. So these are the references that supported my research that I've put in my literature review. So that is it for me. Thank you for your time, and that's it. I hope you learned something from this research.